We're back. Happy New Year, boys. I don't know if we can still say that. I mean, we're still officially in the month of January. It's our first show back. So I'm going to say it one last time. This is my last official ever Happy New Year. So if you run into me in an airport lounge somewhere, don't wish me Happy New Year because I won't be saying it back. So, but to you boys, Happy New Year. Welcome back. Season 4, 2026. Andy, why are you laughing, my friend? Why are you laughing?
Season 4. How did that happen?
Well, we obviously got a lot of stuff to dribble about, mate. Hey, well, since you're first off the mark, mate, how are you this fantastic year of 2026? Year of the something. I'm not sure what, but year of the something, right?
It's going to be Year of the Horse, isn't it? I think if we're going by the Chinese New Year, I think it's Year of the Horse, which is all about forward thinking, moving forwards.
You know, we don't have a disclaimer covering us yet. So if you're making statements like it's Year of the Horse and what it means, you are uncovered, uninsured, and you are on your own. Did you have a good break?
I did. I had a very good break. Apart from the weather.
Yes. The weather definitely not great here in Aotearoa. And you know, Andy, I was just looking at our stats. We've got a huge following in not quite Victoria, but over in Perth. But also, I know the weather over in Australia not fantastic at the moment. Some major bushfires underway there at the moment, some soaring degrees. So, if anyone else is out there with some terrible weather that they're confronting, I think there's some terrible storms hitting the US as well. Thoughts are with you. Des. Mate, long time no speak.
That's normal for me.
Listen, you must have had like the most enjoyable break ever, right? You didn't have to say anything to anybody for what, like a month and a half. I mean, how was it, mate? What'd you get up to?
My lips were sealed. No, I had a great time. Spent time with family, a bit of a rest. I agree with Andy, though, the weather left a bit to be desired, but it's good to be back in the studio for another episode, season 4.
Yeah, no, it sure is. And I guess it's hopefully now. I mean, it's interesting though, right? We have this conversation, I think, with most people, most summers here in New Zealand. Oh, it's the wettest summer ever. I'm pretty sure every summer between Christmas and New Year's, it's terrible, and then we all go back to work and the sun comes out. I'm pretty sure that's pretty consistent. But obviously the extremities of the weather is on our minds, and I guess our thoughts go out to all those involved in the tragedies on the east coast here of Aotearoa. So thoughts are with you. Andy, young Oliver, our young apprentice, we all know, right? Safety doesn't sleep. How's he coped over the holidays? What have you done to maintain that level of currency and competency with our young apprentice over this time?
I think I've failed.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. You are a snake or a salesman, to be fair. So let us know, how have you failed the young and upcoming profession of our, the young up and coming people in our profession? How have you failed them?
Well, since he left school.
Have you told him to leave school, or do you mean he's on holiday?
It's on holiday. He left school on holiday in early December. The triffer rate is absolutely soared.
At school?
No, at home. Do you not keep such data in your household?
I choose to turn a blind eye.
You're better off knowing. Reporting's key.
But reporting requires me to then do something with that, and creates a whole bunch of work that I'm just not into, to be fair.
So no, we've had a whole heap of recordable injuries over the summer break. Nothing too serious. So mainly at the lower level of Bird's Pyramid. But if you completely misinterpret Bird's Pyramid, that means that he's about to, basically lose his head in the next few weeks.
I just need to remind you again, you're not covered by our disclaimer. Okay? So, just so that you are aware, Yeah, carry on.
So there's been a significant number of the lower level things in Bird's pyramid, which would indicate that the next accident is going to be really awful. So I've told him this.
Okay. So is he back at school now, like getting some real education or what?
Started yesterday, so hopefully the triffer will drop again.
Oh, fantastic. Cool. So, okay, well...
Brent, have you replaced me with a teletext?
I have.
Disclaimer, what's going on there?
Well, Des, you don't say a lot, mate. So I just want to make sure that people hear us. And
what about for our listeners in audio only? What do they do?
I don't care.
We've been dropping subtle hints to Des for 4 series now, and it's only now that the penny's dropping. He's superfluous to requirements.
Yeah, but look at him now, right? He's come off a Christmas break. He's gone over the New Year's hurdle, and he's coming guns blazing, like he's going to start talking or something. I mean,
I'll just hit the mute button, shall I?
I was going to say, don't worry, I'll hit it for you. Hey, Des, listen, you're good for at least one thing, and that's a disclaimer. So, can you hit us with a disclaimer, mate? Let's make sure we cover ourselves.
I sure can. And look, over the Christmas, New Year's break, I spent a lot of time thinking about my New Year's resolution. Not talking about it with anyone, just thinking about it. And I noticed last year that after doing an episode on the circus of safety, I was inspired to act, to do better, to set boundaries. And this motivation evaporated quickly on first contact with work in 2026. So accordingly, my official New Year's resolution is this, that I will not act on anything I learn in this podcast without first seeking specialist advice, legal, financial, or otherwise, preferably from someone insured and difficult to contact. And I invite you to adopt this also.
Wow. There's, in true form, that was brilliant. Thank you for bringing us forward. Now, listen, for those that maybe missed the last show of the year, and I don't know where you were if you did miss it, and you didn't hear anything more about it. Really important. We are going to be again at the National Health and Safety Leader Summit, 9th to 10th of March at the Dewdrop Centre, I believe, in Auckland, Tamaki Makaurau. Now, listen, if you use the promo code circus-15, so that's circus-15, you will get a 15% discount. And if there's no other reason, I mean, I wouldn't pay full price to listen to me either. So listen, get on there now. Get over to Bright Star's website. National Health and Safety Leaders Summit, 9th to 10th of March, 2026. We'll be there. So here's hoping you will be as well. Now, I've been working hard over the summer break, you boys, while you've been swanning around doing sweet nothing. I've been engaging with the team at Bright Star. And Andy, you were supposed to kind of, make sure that the schedule was okay and support them. I don't know what you did, but I've reworked it. So I can tell you now, you're going to get value for money. Absolutely amazing. It's going to be great. Lots of panel discussions, some great topics, some great speakers, some new speakers, people maybe you haven't heard of before. So head on over and listen. You probably won't hear from him, but Des will be there to sign books. So if you wish to buy a book, feel free to get over there. So Des, on that note though, how is book sales, mate?
Pretty flat. It seems a lot of people missed out on their ideal Christmas gift. So it's an opportunity now to make up for that for Valentine's Day.
Nice.
Excellent. Yeah, bit of romance.
Yeah, nice. I like it. Valentine's Day gifts. Get your Valentine's Day gift here through the Circus City. Now, people cannot say we do not support, a rounded approach to life. Not only health, safety, but also well-being. Because if you don't get a Valentine's Day gift, your life might not be worth living, right?
That's right.
Fantastic. Hey, now, team, we need to probably make people aware. We had a meeting, like literally 15 minutes ago. That's how prepared we are for season 4. And to be fair, I was so busy helping out organise the National Health Safety Leader Summit 9th to 10th of March, where you can see us for 15% less if you use circus-15 in your promo code, that I forgot to update the board. So, truth be told, there's only 3 items left on the wheel. Now, we all know maths is not my strong suit, right? So, Andy, I might need some help here, brother. We've just started season 4. We go every fortnight. We're not quite going for we don't quite do a full 12 months. I'm working out there's at least probably 20 episodes that we've got to get through this season. Does 20 go into 3 at all? A little bit lost.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, we could drag these 3 out for the whole season, you reckon?
I reckon we give it a go.
Nice, cool. And to be fair, also, we felt really bad for Des not getting any of his topics on the wheel. So there is one of Des's on this wheel. So, boys, are we ready to spin the wheel?
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Right,
Can't wait.
here we go.
Hallelujah. One of my topics, finally.
Oh, wow. I mean,
Code of ethics for safety.
It's only taken 12 months, 21 episodes for Des's topic to finally turn up on the wheel.
And fear not for the rest of the season, because I think I could talk about this for 20 episodes.
Oh.
Wouldn't that be great?
Excellent.
Wow. That's great, because I think, as you can tell by Andy's expression and mine, we're out. You're carrying the show today, brother. You are carrying the show. Hey, so
take myself off mute there.
Listen, I'm gonna do you a solid, Des. This is your topic. You are clearly excited. You've clearly got something on your chest. So over to you, mate. When you saw the wheel spin around and land on code of ethics for safety, what went through your mind? What does you just want to get off your chest?
Oh, so much. I'm so into ethics. Even on the drive into work today, I was listening to Peter Singer's lectures on ethics.
Well,
I think there's a massive gap. All of the issues that we've been discussing boil down to a lack of a guiding ethic for health and safety.
Wow.
And I need to explain what that means.
You better, because I'm feeling a little
Please
insulted right now, as is probably the rest of the profession.
So we've currently got a code of ethics at NZISM. Just to take one for example, there's also one for AIHS. There's one for UK equivalent.
IOSH.
Code of ethics on, act with, be professional, act with integrity, respect people's privacy.
Okay, so can I just step in here? Sorry. So can we just end the show right now by putting up a bunch of links to all these codes of ethics that you've just rattled off?
No.
No.
The best thing to do would be to help me finish my sentence.
Oh, okay. Somebody's got a bit of sass over the holidays.
So those are all noble and good things to have in a code of ethics. But they don't tell you what to do when your duties conflict. And duties conflicting might be undertaking an investigation and having one party, the client perhaps, telling you that it needs to be done in 2 weeks, and then someone in hospital who can't be interviewed and who's central to the investigation, who's not going to be available for an interview within a reasonable time, and you have to make a decision. Do I go to hospital and interview this person when they're not in a condition to have the interview? Or do I tell the client, who I'm contractually obligated to wait a while? Acting professionally, it doesn't tell you what to do. Acting with integrity doesn't tell you what to do. And I don't think we can ever really understand how to manage our conflicting duties until we have a professional ethic.
So I'm confused. Sorry, Des. I am, and I can tell Andy is, because look at him. He's got nothing to say. You just rattled off a bunch of code of ethics, right? You rattled them off like a duck, water off a duck's back, right? You just then, in the very next sentence, said we can't, manage it until we have a code of ethics. So what is the difference? Is there a difference? I mean, between what you rattled off and what you're talking about? I'm still a bit confused.
Yeah, look, the terms can mean different things in different contexts. So I think it's important to define terms. Thanks, Andy.
So that's Andy's one and only contribution to the show today, Tim. Thank you, Andy. You might as well log off now.
Thanks.
So we have morals, which are individually held beliefs about right and wrong. We have ethics, which are collective beliefs about right and wrong, which get argued at university campuses and all that sort of thing in philosophy departments. There's another field of ethics called applied professional ethics. And this is the sort of thing that guides lawyers and doctors and engineers in what they do when they have a conflict of duties. And applied professional ethics comes from having an ethic. And an ethic is something special or a benefit to society that profession provides. So to give you an example, the legal profession exists to facilitate the administration of justice. That's their ethic. And so there's a whole body of applied professional ethics that sit under that determine when you've got a duty between your client and the court, this is how you manage that. And this is what action you should take when both of your options are bad or both of your options are good. This is the way you should go because of this guiding ethic. Safety does not have that. What do we? It's not clearly defined. A lot of people have a lot of ideas about what it should look like. People say that we exist to stop workers from getting hurt or words to that effect. I think there's challenges with that because that doesn't
100%.
exist in anyone's job description. It doesn't exist in any professional association policy statement. It's a nice idea. I'm not disputing that. It's not a consistently applied ethic that guides and defines the profession. And from an ethical standpoint, you don't have a profession unless you have an ethic.
Andy, you're an ex-teacher, right? I'm going to need you to call. I need you to dig to the backs of your knowledge base here. What are those words? When is it an onomatopoeia? When I don't know. That was the only word I knew that might have any resemblance to them. When you use the same word in the same sentence multiple times and bounce along. Like what the way we're talking about ethic. What would that be called in the English language?
I don't know. I think Des has hit some gold here, though. I think.
Wow, really?
He's explained something absolutely beautifully. No, I think I absolutely agree with him wholeheartedly. I think it's possibly worth unpicking a little bit why there isn't an ethic, and I would suspect it's because nobody really can agree what safety is. I think there's probably a broad agreement that what justice is. So that's why you can do that. I think in medicine, you can probably broadly agree what medicine is. So you can probably, that whole profession can probably do it on there. But in the absence of having real clarity around what is and what isn't safety, it would be almost impossible to build an ethic without that underlying definition, isn't it?
Mate.
There's four series, but we finally finished it. Awesome! It's been great fun, guys.
But so if I'm and I'm struggling to understand Des because he's throwing around this one word like there's nobody's business, right? And I'm so confused. But you've really dumbed it down for me, Andy. And so Des, can you just help me clarify this before I go to a comment that's just popped up? So basically, an ethic would effectively be defining what it is that we actually do. Would that be a fair statement?
Defining what we contribute to society as a body of professionals.
So what Andy said.
That requires special protections, like a protected terms. You can't call yourself a safety person unless you're suitably qualified and acknowledged by the profession as a member.
Well, that's a whole other topic for another day. And I've got a rant about that as well. I should no. I'm not gonna overtake Des's topic for the sake of my own. But welcome back, Matthew Sadgrove. I know Matthew's been hanging out between drinks to try to get back on the show. So there he goes. What a comment! Wow, go Des. I think that's the first compliment you've had on the show, Des, in the comments. The bird's nest of moral and ethical flexibility within a safety professional lens. What a fantastic topic. Well,
I think you got a thesaurus for Christmas.
A what?
A thesaurus.
Isn't that a dinosaur? Okay. Des, so what do we do with this, right? So you're saying we've got a whole bunch of ethics, which are, aspirationally nice and fantastic, but we don't have an ethic. So where to from here? What is the game plan then? If that's the case, can the three of us go away and write one up maybe, and we can claim it as our own, or what? How does that? What are you suggesting from here?
Oh, first of all, thank you, Matt, for the compliment. Yes, we could go away and write it, but it would be, the task is in convincing everyone to come on board with the ethic, and I think that's where the real debate is going to happen.
Mate, we've convinced Matthew Sadgrove to tune in every fortnight and also turn up and participate on the show. Surely we can convince people to do things.
Well, if we've got Matt on board with this as well, then we're off to a stellar start, I have to say.
Great, fantastic. Okay, so can I ask a serious question?
I don't know. It's been 4 series, and that's the still great unknown.
What? Oh. Derek Toner, where did you crawl out from, my friend? Where did you crawl out from? Would Des consider running in the next American presidential race? No, Derek, if you weren't aware and you've not been listening to the show often enough, Des is not American. He's Australian. So the answer to that is no. Des, so what ounce of difference is it going to make, right? So let's just say we go out. Let's just say, I don't know, somebody, here we go. Somebody like InchPo, right? They get on board as the overarching organization of organizations globally. They get on board and they go, Des, we listened to you on the Circus of Safety. Love your show, by the way. We're going to write a code. We're going to write an ethic, right? What difference is that going to make to me as a safety professional? Well, and I use that term professional very loosely. But what ounce of difference is that going to make?
What it does, having a clearly articulated ethic for safety professionals means that it's the key that opens the door to protecting the profession, like regulating the profession, in the sense that you can't, in the same way you can't call yourself a doctor unless you've done the requisite degree in medicine and so on and so forth, and professional practice in a hospital supervised. Similarly, in law, you can't call yourself a lawyer or a solicitor or a barrister unless you've done the degree and been admitted to the bar and hold a practicing certificate. So it opens the door for that type of protection and regulation of the profession to be enshrined in law. And what that further does is it defines the boundaries of the profession, because at the moment there's a lot of things to, some people are specializing in psychology and saying you need to do everything in safety with a psychological lens. Other people are saying, no, it's all about energy and the transfer of stored energy, and you need to look at it from a purely like a physics lens. Other people are saying, no, it's a mix of all those things. All of that gets a nice box drawn around it to say, no, this is the profession. This is our area of expertise. No one else can advise within those bounds unless they've got the requisite training. Anything outside of that is clearly outside of that, and a safety professional should not be advising on those things unless they also hold a concurrent professional membership in something else. So it clearly defines the boundaries of the profession, which also means it clearly defines what the professionals get taught. So if you're doing a degree in safety, that is guided by the ethic and everything that supports the ethic as to what the subject matter is that you're studying. So it's massive. It's the key that opens the door to all of this, in my view.
Well, I think you and I are going to be come to heads on this because that might be the key, and that might be your view. But my view is this has opened up a whole bunch of other questions, which you can see I've been scribbling. I've been writing questions. So do you think is this quick? I'm just going to circle back around to my questions in order. Is this a New Zealand only thing then, Des? I mean, is New Zealand the only country that doesn't have an ethic in terms of being a safe professional, or are you talking like a global? We've got a global audience, Des. So let's kind of open up the floor here. Is a code of ethics thing an international thing? And I mean, I suggested maybe INCHPO could get involved and facilitate this process if it is a global thing, or are you feeling that it's a New Zealand only thing?
I think that to define an ethic and have it adopted, it would probably need to be global. So I would suggest that INCHPO is probably the right place to do that. However, there's nothing stopping New Zealand from just forging ahead and defining this and moving forward.
Because how does it work? And I mean, again, I hope the progress to the bar is going well for you, Des. But in the land of law, how does it work? Is it a universal ethic, or is it a country by country thing? Because you touched on something there around, it would be there'd be like not limitations, but there'd be expectations about qualifications, for example, that you would need to hold to call yourself a safety professional, as an example. Now, I'm pretty confident I can say this with a fact. In Spain, for example, it's my understanding, in order to be considered a safety professional, you do have to hold a specific qualification, and that's legislated already. So, just trying to understand. I don't know where I was going with that. In terms of the New Zealand only thing versus the global thing. So, in the law sense, is it a global thing or is it regional?
In law, to the best of my knowledge, it's common across common law jurisdictions. So US, okay. Canada, UK, Australia, New Zealand. I don't know enough outside of that to know what an ethic for lawyers would look like, but I know in those jurisdictions, when you're talking about ethics, it's normal and expected to draw examples from other jurisdictions that have common law. So when I did legal ethics, we were talking about cases in America, cases in the UK. And just because you have a defined ethic, that doesn't mean the inquiry stops there. The ethics that support that ethic, trying not to use the same word too many times, it's an ongoing debate. It's a constant tension that people are writing articles about and debating in order to help define and refine what that means.
Well, okay, no, fair enough. And again, the chat's gone wild, so we'll just jump back. Before I jump down to Andy, who's gone mute for this show, and I'm going to come back to Andy on that in a sec. But although there is no universally agreed ethic, we could go with prevention of harm to people at work, at least for the progress in the specific show. And that's not a bad start, I don't think, from Matthew. I think my only worry is, if we talk about the fact that our ethic is about prevention of harm, that seems quite specific, that then if people get harmed, it's on us. And that's my worry, right? If our ethic was that specific about the fact that we're there for the prevention of harm, if harm's not prevented, have we then breached our ethic? Don't know how that works, but we'll come back to that in a minute. Derek's quite great to see. Derek has compromised. Des, could you run for PM in the next general election? I believe it's this year. Mate, I'm all for this. Des for PM. What electorate would you run in, Des?
Good question. I think I'm living in the Prime Minister's electorate at the moment.
Wow.
I think.
So Christopher Luxon. Battle on. It's game on.
He might lose his seat. That'll be embarrassing.
What's that, sorry?
He might lose his seat. That's embarrassing. Maybe I just need to move to Derek Toner's electorate. I'll at least get one vote.
Yeah, let's get one vote.
I wouldn't count on this.
Well, I heard the other day you've got to have. We're getting a bit distracted here, and we'll come back to this. But I heard the other day you've got to have 500 people on board, I think, to be an official political party in New Zealand. Do our 2,483 followers constitute as a does that therefore technically make us a political party?
I think
That
it's
is a
worth running the
question worth
argument.
answering. So
Oh,
if
yeah.
somebody knows the answer to that, well, we've already made it. There's another comment there from Matt, and I'll come back to that. But Andy, I'm interested in your thoughts on this. So, I mean, we know you dabble in snake oil, and it's all smokes and mirrors, and you say whatever you need to say to make money, right? We get it. You got shoes to buy for Oliver. Are you sitting there, kind of, nervous about what this might mean for you as a consultant?
Not at all. I think it's a really important debate that's had. I really do. I think it's possibly the only way that we'll get out of the constant conflict that exists within I don't even like to call it profession, but this is the new thing. Everything else that's gone before is bad. This is the new thing. We were wrong there. Everything else that's gone before, it's bad. If you're on that side, you're on this side. I just think there's a whole heap of divisiveness that's completely unnecessary within safety. And I think it goes back to a lack of an ethic, or as I would sort of keep harping on about, lack of clear understanding and definitions of what's actually involved.
Yeah, but now I'm starting to think that what you're harping on about and what Des is now harping on about are effectively the same thing, right? In the basic,
to a degree, I think
Yep.
we need some clear understanding of if it actually is a field of study, if it actually is a thing, or it's just an
safety?
outcome and the result of other things. Yeah, is safety just the result of other things?
Well,
You end up
yeah.
creating something that can't really exist because it's not a real thing.
Wow.
I think I don't know. There's a whole. We're talking really about the philosophy of safety here. I mean, where it sits in the greater good. You apply all the different. When I started studying safety, I remember one of the first pages of the manual that I was presented with was that safety is multidisciplinary, and it had this picture of safety where all these bubbles coming out of it, all these arrows going in, feeding into it, saying it's part medicine, it's part epidemiology, it's part engineering, it's part science, all those sorts of things. And initially I thought, oh, that's really cool because that's a strength, but actually, is it? If all of those other fields that sit around safety, like medicine we mentioned there, okay, that's a protected profession. Yeah, law, that's a protected profession. Engineering,
So you're talking about this, like again, listen, I'm just going to go back to our visual learners, as Des reminded me. We don't only have audio listeners, we've got visual listeners. Matthew Sagrove's popped up again. Is the issue at its heart the fact that health and safety is not a licensed profession the way medicine and law is? And it's interesting the term you used there, Andy, protected professions, I think is what I picked you up on saying.
So I'm Des could probably know more about this, but there's certain professions in various countries that are protected, and I think it goes back to the ethic thing that Des was talking about. But what Matthew said there, I think is absolutely right. But I would take it a step back and say, actually, is health and safety actually a thing, or is it the result of other things? Because if you've got all of these other fields of study that feed into safety, then if they're protected. So if you want an engineer to give you some safety engineering advice, then do you have to be an engineer before you can be a safety engineer, or just being an engineer is enough? Or if you want to be occupational doctor, hygienist, hygienist is a bit different, but a medical, what's it called, occupational physiologist, physician, yeah. Clearly, you need to be a physician before you can do the safety bit. Now, if you start saying that safety itself is the profession, how does that work? Because you've got to be something else before you're that.
Yeah, that happens in other contexts. That happens in other contexts. You can have, like, patent attorneys will typically be both lawyers and engineers, or chemists. If they're examining the patent of a new medicine,
yes,
they'll probably be a qualified pharmacologist and also a qualified lawyer.
Absolutely. So that's what I'm saying. They're a member of two separate professional protected professions.
Yep.
But and that feeds into the safety bit. Do you know what I mean? If that fits into the central bit, you can't just do the central bit.
This just and back to your point, and this is exactly what you said. This is about protectionism, right? So that's all good for you two who've got other qualifications. So Des could be a health and safety lawyer, you could be a health and safety teacher. Then what the hell does that leave me with? Because I've got nothing. The only claim to fame that I've got is some kind of random dodgy diploma I got out of some dodgy organization facilitated by some dodgy trainer.
But that's the whole point, though. Is
what, that I don't have a job anymore?
No. It's
well, that's what you're saying. Is that because I don't have another degree or another diploma in something else apart from bullshit, I'm out of a job.
No, I'm not saying that you're out of a job at all. I'm saying that the safety itself isn't a thing. It's made up of other things. So I studied sport. My first degree was in sports science, which, so I wanted to be a sports psychologist, but I couldn't get in. I wasn't bright enough to study psychology. So I thought I'd do sport first, and then I'd do psychology. But it became really apparent really quickly that that's the wrong way of doing it. You study the field, and then you specialize in something. Yeah. So you study engineering, and then you specialize in safety. Yeah. You study law, and then you specialize in safety law. Yeah. Doing it the other way around is weird, because what is it you're actually learning in safety? It's bits of everything else. So I don't think you can have an ethic for safety because there's multiple ethics.
Oh, wow. So you're saying this is wrong. Wow.
Fair argument. Yeah.
That only took 36 minutes to circle back around, Andy. Welcome to the show. Just before we move on and go back to Des to rebut, we've waited four seasons, months and years on end for Des to get his own topic on the board, and then Andy's just gone and told him he's an idiot. But back to Matthew, I think it might be hard to define, as ethic needs to fit within the frame. I don't even know what this word is.
Deontological ethics and virtue-based ethics. I think it's the other way, Matt. I think that a clearly articulated and defined ethic will help you balance deontological decisions, or ethics and virtue-based ethics within a profession. So I think the ethic needs to come first, so it's the other way, in my view.
I think after the show, I'm going to go join seek.co.nz, and I might have to look for another job because clearly I don't know what I'm doing.
I just want to take this moment just to say that Derek Turner is just one hell of a guy.
I'm banning him from the show.
Brilliant facilitator.
100%, Andy. Does ethic not live in the profession being delivered? Civil engineers oh my God, this is just turning into an absolute...
I actually agree with Andy and Derek that it won't really work because safety lives in every other profession, and the bridge building engineers is a great example. If all the safety people walked away, the bridge would still need to be built safely, and the bridge would still need to be safe on an ongoing basis. That's why I think that ethic isn't actually, or can't be, safety. It has to be something else. And my best go at this, and I haven't really taken this to the nth degree, but my best go at this at the moment is that safety professionals might need a new name, but they preserve the integrity or protect the integrity of risk-based decisions. And I think that so far seems to be the most workable ethic that I can develop.
So
I think you're onto something there, Des. I think risk is the way to go with it.
Then it becomes very clear what the curriculum is, and it becomes very clear.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where you stand in relation to your duties.
Yeah,
again, I know I might be the simpleton of the group here.
Brenton. So what's interesting there is I've sort of almost come to the same conclusion through the development of various different training courses, in that I've moved away from teaching all the different bits about safety to actually bringing the whole thing back to risk, because that's fundamentally what it's about. And if you understand risk, then you can do safety.
Des, you would make a great consultant. Mate, a number of times you have flipped and flopped and moved smoke and mirrors on this show. I'm now even confused as to where you stand on this. So well done.
It's perfect from another consultant. It's perfect clarity, Des.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Wow. Well, someone's got to keep you two guys in check, and while maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, I do know what the time is. So actually, I'll give you the last word, mate. Andy, as we wrap up the topic here, ethics and safety. Final thoughts, mate. Final words.
It needs to be thought. It needs to be thought about. It needs to be considered. I think it's really, really important. This is really the discussion that should be being had. Rather than come up with solutions, there should be some more thought about it.
Maybe we could run a symposium.
Maybe that would be actually a really good topic for a symposium. Actually,
there we go. So
let's get some people in the room, and let's not have a load of topics. Let's just bang this one out. Let's just focus on this.
You've heard it here first. The Circus of Safety Symposium for 2026 will be on
ethics.
Boom. In the profession of whatever the hell we are. Des, your topic, you've waited 4 seasons, finally happened. Final words of wisdom, mate.
In a similar vein to what Andy just said, I think we need to think about what it is we actually do from day to day, realistically. Are we actually keeping people safe? Are we custodians of the integrity of risk-based decisions? What is actually in our job description or our terms of reference if we're an external consultant that we're actually being asked to do? And when we're being asked to do something outside of our profession, what we think we're supposed to be doing, how do we manage that? When someone asks us to not worry about the safety of workers, do we actually have a leg to stand on in terms of disobeying that order or reporting it or anything like that? Does our view hold any weight? So I think we need to really think about the purpose of what our jobs is. If we never come up with anything, we may never have a profession.
Well, then that means that symposium this year has to go ahead, I guess, because I don't know about you, but this is all I've got. So we need to figure out what we do before we don't do it anymore. I know that seems incredibly selfish. But I got a mortgage, boys, and I got expectations placed on me to meet those repayments. So really important. Hey, well, that's a wrap for the show. Listen, I just need to apologise. I think this is going to turn into an apology segment, and I need to apologise to Jackie Hurd. So Jackie is the latest follower to join the Circus of Safety, and she has come to us as a health and safety leader with a passion for helping organisations take their health and safety to the next level. Jackie, you might be getting a call from one of us to support our need to go to actually achieve any kind of level. But Jackie is currently the director at Omexcom. I don't think I butchered that, in New Zealand. She comes from the general manager of operational safety at Fonterra, and prior to that, Bayer, where she seems to have bounced around the world in that space. But as we wrap up the show, welcome, Jackie, and apologies on behalf of myself for what you've just had to experience. Des, what are you up to over the next couple of weeks, mate?
I'm preparing for a talk that I'm doing for NZISM as a webinar, and also looking forward to a Bright Star conference. When's that happening there, Brent?
9th to 10th of March, 2026 in Auckland. Circus-15 to get your 15% discount and come see us and get a book signed by Des. And if you don't want Des to sign his book, Andy and I are more than willing to.
And Andy, also, just looking forward to Valentine's Day, where I can, give my significant other a very special gift.
Only if you sell books, mate. Only if you sell books.
No, the book is the gift.
Andy, what are you up to, mate?
Oh, back to it all, I guess. Back out in the forest. Here, playing around with some overlapping duties issues.
Nice.
All fun and games.
Fantastic. Well, I've got a bit of travel on, boys, so I'll be bouncing around Aotearoa, and then lucky enough to be taking my oldest son over to Brisbane to compete at the Oceania BMX Championships, which is pretty cool. So some exciting times coming up, that's for sure. But listen, until then, make sure you log on to Bright Star's website, purchase yourself a ticket for the National Health and Safety Leaders Summit, 9th to 10th of, I better check that. Yeah, it is the 9th to 10th of March, 2026. Circus-15 for your 15% promo code to see us there. So until then, everyone, take care, have a great time, and we will see you soon.
See ya.
See you soon. Bye-bye.